Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what fact is ignored generously? Being at a job for a long time does not mean someone is good at their job. Co-worker of mine used to say there is 10 years of experience and then there is 1 year of experience repeated 10 times. God, this is true. There are people with years of experience but with entry-level skill. Human memory is extremely unreliable. We forget important details. We fabricate memories and convince ourselves that they're true. What we do remember is distorted to conform to our biases. When I was 5, my parents surprised my older sister and I with a trip to Disneyland really early in the morning before our flight. For years I had this memory of it happening and being so excited. They videotaped the whole thing but we had lost the video for years. When we found it I saw that I was actually asleep the whole time. I had completely made up the memory based on my sister and parents talking about it. Yeah, this is especially crazy to me. You can fabricate memories off of talking and thinking about it. Sometimes when you think about things like that long enough you can forget they aren't real. Prevention is more affordable than treatment. Dubiously related, every time the medical field finds a way to treat a condition, it just opens up the road to a harder to treat, more expensive condition. Edit, dubious. Yeah, antibiotics really fucked us by inventing old age. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I hate you. And conversely, just because I agree with you, doesn't mean I like you. Both of these points are excellent. Admitting to a mistake is not a sign of weakness. Bending over backwards to cover it up and pretending like it never happened is. It's in your best interests too. If you don't own your mistakes, others will and may use them against you. Be careful which mistakes you own. Turns out bragging about your restraining orders doesn't get you a second date. The number of people who die after a war to consequences of war, hunger, disease, etc. are not counted in the statistics. Sometimes many times more will. A large battle can kill tens of thousands, wars many times that, but disease can absolutely wreck countries. As an example of an underrated disease, the plague of Justinian is estimated to have killed 30 to 50 million people in a time when the human population was 100 million. No war, no matter how brutal, maybe except nuclear, can kill 30 to 50% of humanity. According to the Wikipedia article, your population numbers are wrong. https://wiki/plague_of_Justinian. You are not immune to propaganda. Fun word fact: the term propaganda originally referred to a Catholic Church committee for propagating the faith during the Counter-Reformation. This comment was brought to you by Big Etymology. Actually, propaganda comes from when a British person gets a good look at something. Most people seem to think that free press equals no propaganda or no biased views, although free press is 1,000 times better than state-controlled fundamentally biased propaganda media, it is still flawed. Most people don't like to call their own opinion pieces propaganda either. Humans overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what we can achieve in a year. That we all have confirmation bias. In my studies I've found that I do not. Oh wait. I controlled for my confirmation bias, turns out I have the smallest confirmation bias. No one has a smaller confirmation bias than I do, in the entire academia, and people come up to me and tell me I am the most objective researcher and I write papers with the most logical conclusions and most rigorous models. No bias, they have the bias. But I have no bias. My bias level is tremendously non-existent. That just because someone tells you something is a fact doesn't mean that it is. Make sure to do your research. I'll take your word for it. Mob mentality doesn't mean you are right. This needs to be higher. Will solve 85% of the world's problems. Edit. What have I done? Further edit. What's the opposite of an award? I should get that. For it to be higher, wouldn't a mob of people have to upvote it? Everyone is a huge hypocrite when it suits them, including me. The irony of this statement is that if you're ever in a situation where being a hypocrite would suit you but you aren't a hypocrite, then you are a hypocrite because you said you would be but weren't. My brain hurts. Just because it's legally allowed doesn't mean you're not a douchey bag for doing it. Example: free speech isn't freedom from consequence. You legally can say, near, whatever you want, doesn't mean people won't call you a dick for it. Just because some people are naturally talented doesn't mean you shouldn't work hard. Hard work can beat talent when talent doesn't work hard, as my undergrad advisor was fond of saying. But when talent works hard, it's game over. The importance of getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. To add to this, 7 to 9 hours of sleep is not the same as a 7 to 9 hour sleep opportunity window. If you're giving yourself a 7-hour sleep opportunity window, you are not getting 7 hours of sleep. Probably more like 6. Most people are not very smart. And even the smart ones are dumb sometimes. And dumb ones can get dumber. I'm a lawyer, I have to frequently interact with people way outside my usual social circles. Jesus Christ, the bottom quarter of people are so fucking stupid I'm at a loss for words. Social worker checking in. Can confirm. I sometimes wonder how people actually survive on the planet day to day. Like the people currently gathering in large groups to protest with COVID-19 rampaging the country. Hell, I'm all for standing up and not putting up with shit, but doing it with a bunch of other people who may have a virus that is spreadable through just breathing when science says stay away from other people, well, not the brightest. How are these people still alive? Serious question. Do you think shows like Law and Order and the like make people think they know more about the law than they actually do? I like to be a jerk sometimes and say I watch Law and Order, I know my rights. I say this to no one in particular, but I wonder if people really do this. Giving birth to a kid doesn't make you an expert on raising them. Nor do they owe you for being born. A lot of people need to realize this. Way too many need to. TikTok is literally Chinese spyware. But at the same time, Gmail and Facebook are pretty much American spyware. This is a much better ignored fact, IMO. I tell people this and they laugh. I tell my friends this and they call me racist. Older doesn't always mean wiser. Wisdom is obtained from what you do with your time, it's not about how much time you've had. Just remember, stupid people get old too. Every single year, cruise ships dump 14 billion pounds of garbage into the oceans. Probably not this year. Just saying. We may see the end of that industry altogether if we're lucky. Yes, not this year for sure. Bill Burr's idea of sinking these sounds better and better. You have blinkers for your car so that you can tell other drivers that you're changing lanes. Fun fact, it's the law. And you need to put them on before you start to move lanes. Exactly. The purpose of a turn signal is to alert those around you what you are going to do so they can be prepared, not what you are actively doing. One of my biggest peeves. Facts aren't opinions. I wish I could upvote this a million times. I'm getting really sick and tired of people who argue 2 points, where one is arguing from evidence-based facts, the other is arguing from a YouTube conspiracy video, and the second tries to take the high road with, you have your opinion, I have mine. No, you fucking window licker. Person has facts, you have idiocy. You aren't supposed to stick Q-tips in your ears. You can't stop me. He wasn't telling you to stop, he just gave you a Q-tip. I'm an ear doctor. I see stupid shit like ruptured eardrums from Q-tip use frequently enough. I will never stop sticking Q-tips all the way in there. Human nature's a bitch. I mean, I've been sticking Q-tips in my ear canals for over 40 years. I have yet to do any damage. Concentration camps in China are still going on. This 12-minute BBC piece sums it all up very concisely. Oh, and they are supplanting the now imprisoned for thought crimes Uyghur husbands / fathers with single, ethnically Han Chinese men in their own households. They are literally relocating the majority ethnicity to replace and wash out the minority culture and people. Oh, but look at all these happy murals of China's ethnic groups. Would a genocidal regime ever come up with such a cute depiction of minorities? Per second. In seriousness, what exactly have the Uyghurs done to warrant this treatment by the CCP? Is it just their own customs and culture being a threat to national harmony? Animals are much more brutal than people realize. We only see the cute cuddly side on the internet. Cheetah makes friends with a goat, gets more views than warthog gets eaten alive by lions and lasts a surprisingly long time while it's happening. Animals will eat you alive if they don't think you're a threat to injury. It's out of survival. Something bigger and badder might come along and they won't have eaten anything. No, the leopard didn't kill the animal before eating it out of compassion. It just didn't want to take a hoof to the head while it was having lunch. I watched 3 lionesses hunt a warthog and its piglet up close once. 2 of the lionesses made themselves seen while the third slid behind a small mound and snuck through the grass. The warthog stayed focused on the 2 lions in the open. The hunter got within a few feet and crouched low, ready to strike. Something alerted the warthogs and they took off like a rocket. The lioness, being the queen of the savannah, rolled on her side and started licking her paw. Hugely disappointing. Edit: I did get one of my favorite pictures during this experience. https://imgur.com/8pjp5x4. Almost clever girl.